let's chat about Auston Matthews and the MVP realities that may be at bay here when it comes to this guy. He's just on a whole nother level this season, not only offensively, leading the NHL in goal scoring, but also defensively and putting himself into that Selke conversation. And if you can put yourself into the Selke conversation while also scoring more goals than anybody else on the planet, where does that lead you, Mr. Tony Ferrari? Where do you think that leads you?
I think it leads you to a Hart Trophy, to be completely honest. Like the way he's played this year, both offensively and defensively, it's been incredible. And at the end of the day, I think the big factor that's going to kind of prevent him from getting the Selke Trophy, that I think he should certainly be in the conversation, I won't be shocked if he's a finalist for, is the fact that he doesn't play on the penalty kill. If you played on the penalty kill, and the Leafs have one of the best penalty kills in the league, and I'm assuming if you put Matthews out there instead of a guy like Pierre Engvall, you're not losing much. So I think he's still gonna be outstanding if he gets put in that role ever, but he hasn't been to this point. And I think that prevents him from getting the Selke nod. But the ability to score, not only in all situations, but specifically at 5-on-5, he leads the league in almost every year that he's played a significant amount of games in 5-on-5 goal scoring. And this year's no different. At even strength, he's got 25 goals, and the next closest is Kyle Connor and Dylan Larkin with 21. And at 5-on-5, he's tied with Kyle Connor for 21. So it's not really a question of is he impacting the game at 5-on-5, because he clearly is. And a lot of people make the argument that, he's not a guy that gets a lot of assists. He's purely a Cy Young winner. He's a guy that always has more goals and assists. Yeah, that may be true, but he also is sitting third in the league in even strength points in general. So his assists are there. His assists are up this year. He's sitting fourth in the league in scoring, if I'm not mistaken, at the moment. It's tied for fourth in the league in scoring, and he's played a couple less games.
Since January 15th, Marner leads the league with 35 points, Matthews second with 30. So those guys are 1-2 in the league since January 15th. That's basically 6 weeks. And they've just been on a tear in the NHL. And it's not just Matthews scoring goals. It's him getting a lot of assists as well, because you got Mitch Marner and Michael Bunting filling the back of the net as well.
Yeah, and I think that's the big factor, is he's able to kind of get the goal scoring touch out of Marner. He's able to kind of let Michael, and I mean, Marner plays a big factor in Michael Bunting being as good a scorer as he is as well, but a lot of the plays don't happen without Matthews, especially on the defensive end. We saw a couple games ago, not against Detroit, nothing went well against Detroit, but the game before that, two Auston Matthews goals both came from defensive turnovers. He was able to kind of strip the puck in the defensive zone or strip the puck in the neutral zone and turn the play up ice, make a good play, and then get into a good scoring chance, or make the play towards the good scoring chance. The way he's impacting the game on both ends of the ice is absolutely incredible. If you want to get into analytics, his defensive metrics are at the 98th percentile. His offensive metrics, as we already talked about, are obviously in the 99th. He's a guy that is scoring at a rate that no one else is doing in the NHL right now, including guys like Alexander Ovechkin, including guys like Leon Draisaitl, who everyone likes to talk about, and Connor McDavid. I mean, Chris Kreider's in there too, but I think we all kind of see that that's a little bit of a shooting percentage bender and some impressive 17 power play goals.
Yes.
But no, he's up there. Like, he's leading the league still in goal scoring. He's leading the league in even strength goal scoring. He's up in the top 4 in total goal score, in total scoring. He's in the top 3 in even strength scoring. The way this guy's doing things in the NHL right now, he's absolutely asserting himself as the best player in the league at this point. With the way Connor McDavid's fallen off in I mean, I don't want to say the second half of the season. And that's just it. It's all a relative term, right? It's like falling off. But
it's like, a guy who only averages a point per game.
What a loser. No, and that's just it, right? Like, we talk about Auston Matthews' hot streak right now. Well, Connor McDavid had his hot streak at the start of the year when he was on pace for like 170 points at one point. And now Auston Matthews
130. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. So we're seeing Connor McDavid slow down and we're kind of regress to the mean, and we're seeing Auston Matthews regress to the mean after he had kind of a little bit of a slow start even. So the way that this guy's played this year, in my opinion, it's this 2-horse race for the Hart Trophy right now between him and Igor Shesterkin, who's absolutely willing the New York Rangers into the playoffs. But it's going to be fun to watch, because at the end of the day, we still have 25, 30 games left for almost every team. And Connor McDavid can score quite a bit in that time. So I'm certainly not taking him or even Leon Draisaitl out of the conversation, because at the end of the season, we're going to see Connor McDavid up there with 125 points, and you're going to see Matthews challenge or topping 100, and Leon's going to be 115 or something like that. So it's going to be a ton of fun, and it's going to kind of come down to where the complete game is. I think a lot of old school hockey guys like to go, oh, you need to play the complete game. You need to be physical. You need to be defensive. Auston Matthews has done both of those things this year. He's impossible to get off the puck. So it's fun to watch. And I think right now, this is the year he's going to win that Hart Trophy.
And I really think it's two things for this race. One is health, because, Auston Matthews has always had the 50 goal capability. He's just never been able to stay healthy enough to get there. And the other thing is Edmonton is in a dogfight to try to make the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, I don't see how you can give Connor McDavid, put him over Auston Matthews. That's usually the first argument for a lot of people when they're trying to vote on the MVP is how did the team finish relative to how the player performed.
I'll be honest with you here, and he may end up like the MVP might end up going to a guy like Igor Shesterkin, and that may end up happening. And I'm with you. I think at this point, those two players right now are the front runners, like a 1A, 1B. It's so close between those two. If I had to submit a ballot, probably Cale Makar would be my third guy. I don't even have those Edmonton guys on my top 3 ballot right now. But where I think, and this is a bit of a take, where I think a real interesting conversation that could be had this year is who do you think is more worthy of the Ted Lindsay Award? Because that's one I think would make some shockwaves if Auston Matthews wins the Ted Lindsay this year, which right now I think I would give it to him.
Yeah, I could see that situation definitely going down. I could see, because we saw a few years back where Nathan MacKinnon probably should have won the Hart Trophy. He was clearly the most valuable and the best player in the league, but Taylor Hall got it because he willed this team into the playoffs. He willed the New Jersey Devils there. So I could see a world where Igor Shesterkin wins that Hart Trophy because he is having just an absolutely ridiculous season this year. And then Auston Matthews wins the Lindsay as the best player voted on by the players. And you're kind of seeing that trend over the last few years. You're seeing a guy like Connor get that Ted Lindsay Award, despite not getting the Hart or something like that. So it's going to be interesting to see at the end of the year, because I think both guys deserve some hardware. So if that's the way it shakes out, I don't think that's too bad of an issue.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you do want to make a little bit of a wager, you can get these odds right now over at betonline.net. Plus 350 for Auston Matthews. He's second best odds. McDavid first best odds at plus 275. Igor Shesterkin plus 700, which I think is terrific value. I was able to get in on that a little bit earlier. I got it last week at plus 1,500. I like those odds. I like Igor Shesterkin, but Auston Matthews is definitely going to have give him a run for his money. That's for sure. Should be a real treat the rest of the way, assuming that, again, to your point, Dave, health, he's got to stay healthy. He's got to play a full 82, because you're right. He's perennially on pace to surpass 50 goals, but he's yet to do it. But assuming good health, this is the year. He passes Rick Vive, and he'll just absolutely set the league on fire the rest of the way. And especially if this team ends up winning the division, I think it's locked up. They win that division, they win the conference. I think it could be locked up there for Auston Matthews.